Hey, good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to be able to participate in this CXO Summit hosted by VST ECS. My name is Ajit Nair. I've been with Dell Technologies for the past 20 odd years, various roles ranging from professional services, pre-sales, sales, and also channel. My current role as Senior Director of Strategic Initiatives in APJ Channel allows me to sort of support and drive our partner ecosystem in a few areas. Supporting our top tier partners in APJ Channel is one. Working with the ISV community and Edge partners on emerging technologies is another. Partnering with our cloud service providers, right, on multi-cloud offerings, right, driving the CapEx to OpEx transition within our channel business, and also introducing subscription-based offers for infrastructure solutions. So these are things that keep me busy, right? Let me start by today's session on the back of a IDC study on future enterprises in 2020, right? Move on. So if you look at IDC, they have updated their predictions to forecast that digital economy would contribute more than 65% of GDP by 2022. Right? The pandemic has forced many organizations to accelerate their digital strategy. These digital interaction with their customers was the only option when physical interaction was not possible due to the health and safety restrictions. Let's look at two particular industries, healthcare and the restaurant industry. Healthcare, telemedicine is here to stay. 28% of consumers use telemedicine for the first time during the pandemic, me included, right? 32% would like to see it continue to be available after the pandemic passes. Therefore, IDC is predicting a 70% increase, right, in spending on connected health technologies by the providers and the life sciences companies by 2023, right? With the restaurant industry, the use of home delivery is expensive for the restaurants and eats into their profit margins. But the home delivery trend is not going to go away after and if the pandemic passes, right? 31% of the consumers would like to continue to have goods delivered to their homes. Therefore, I expect the restaurants to figure out a more profitable way to get the meals delivered to us. So by 2023, 30% of the restaurants are using third-party delivery platforms will deploy native delivery options to eliminate these third-party fees and hopefully increasing their profit by almost 25%. What's important, right, is to realize is that these new digital experiences have now become the new normal in our world today. Data is becoming the lifeblood of every organization as we increasingly shift from physical experience to personalized digital experiences. Organizations who understand that access to quality data are the ones who will develop a competitive edge. Dell Technologies' latest Digital Transformation Index survey indicate that 96% of those organizations who are digital leaders say that their ability to collect, analyze, and act on data has made it easier for them to adapt. Data is as old as IT itself, right? And if you could say that the whole reason IT exists is to unlock the value of data. Our world is becoming increasingly hyper-connected, whether it's consumer devices or industrial devices. In short, all of these connected devices are generating data. Whereas in the past, most of your data will likely have been created, stored, and processed in a handful of centralized data centers or cloud locations. Now the data will be hyper-distributed across thousands of edge locations. Data will also need to be analyzed and acted on at hyper speed to meet the rising consumer expectations. Where data is going to be created, where it is going to be processed, and how you're going to act on it is going to change. Dell Technologies is the essential technology company for the data era. We have earned the trust of organizations of all sizes, verticals, and geographies around the world to enable them to collectively store, process, and protect more data than anybody else on the planet. If you look at the market, the digital leaders will be those organizations who become adept to using data to fuel the personalized and integrated digital experiences, creating smarter products and data-driven business models. In order to prepare to meet data where it lives, you need to, number one, modernize your infrastructure to meet the needs of the decentralized data, connecting people, things, and systems, finding your edge where data lives, bringing the benefits of the public cloud to the edge. Okay. To optimize the flow of data throughout your organization, you'll need to modernize your data pipelines to get the right data to the right people at the right time. You can do that by, number one, mastering the life cycle of your data from cradle to grave, taking your organization's decision-making beyond human scale, adding AI, ML, deep learning into your systems, transforming security from an inhibitor of innovation to an accelerator. To drive business outcomes from data insights, you will have to do the following. Use those insights to create the personalized and digital integrated experiences with smarter and connected products. We will have to create data-driven business models that your customers crave for. You will need to do the following. Modernize how you design and build your digital products. Deliver the best software to production continuously. Acquire the digital innovation skills your organization needs to be successful in the data era. Traditional data management approaches built with a centralized approach aren't well suited to meet the needs of the decentralized data era. Mastering the life cycle of your data is therefore crucial for any organization to differentiate itself. It starts with discovering what data sources you have, preparing raw data so you can trust it to make decisions, integrating the internal and external data sources to ensure that data can flow as needed through your digital ecosystem. All this data needs to be stored and processed somewhere. It's in your organization's most valuable asset, so it must also be protected. To get the value from your data, you'll need to analyze it, get the insights, and then act on these insights in order to achieve your desired outcome. Dell Technologies support the key roles in your organization to accelerate every step of the data lifecycle, to capture raw data and use it to drive meaningful outcomes. To assist our customers and partners, Dell Technology Consulting organization has a range of consulting offers focused on data and digital transformation. Some of the popular offers are creating a data strategy with a high-level architecture and a transformation roadmap, conduct process re-engineering work, engaging with business and analysts, data analysts, AI sweet spot identification, developing a transition from as-is to a to-be process, and driving quantitative improvement. And then you've got the AI and analytics use cases that can be developed, right, by the team. And lastly, automate data management tasks and create process automation within the companies. So these services are available from Dell Consulting, and they've been busy engaging with a lot of partners and customers delivering these services in APJ. Regardless of the industries, right, whether it's smart retail, telco, autonomous vehicle, right, data is one of the most important and precious assets. The nature of the data is, and the value is paradoxical. It is high at the point of creation and consumption, but then falls sharply over time from milliseconds to second to minutes to days and months. However, once it is archived, it grows in value again, as this data is now critical for AI and analysis to gain new insights and then to develop better models at the edge. Dell Technologies products and solutions are positioned to deliver data value with the right infrastructure at each stage of the edge journey. Here you see some of the functions or activities that cut across the edge landscape, from edge to core to cloud. We don't have the time today to deep dive into these various products that are being leveraged by our customers and partners in delivering solutions to the current need of edge to core to cloud. reach out to your Dell sales representative if you need additional information. As a company, Dell has been investing a lot in AI and analytics and data management. We have a lot of internal stories of our own. These efforts and the knowledge, plus the IT infrastructure and data science behind these projects, is part of the living, breathing fabric of Dell Technologies. Today, we have more than 35 data science teams, typically driving over 450 AI projects, with approximately 1,800 team members fully dedicated to extracting insights from data. These insights help us deliver better customer experiences, from discovery to acquisition to frictionless use. An order processing system based on customers' feedback and machine learning digitizes and automates order processing so customers get their products sooner. Our support assist capability delivers a proactive and predictive support experience that is based on analysis of data from millions of connected devices. Similarly, the company uses the data internally to reduce our employee support incidents by almost 1/3. Now, let me transition to the cloud and the multi-cloud. When looking at a cloud, we know that you might already have some of the goals in mind. Some common goals we've seen among our customers are the desire to quickly ensure employees have the resources to do their jobs, the need to accelerate IT to match the often fast-paced demands of the business, and the desire to maximize the impact of their existing cloud investments through value-added services. In the wake of the pandemic, we've seen cloud adoption accelerate across every industry. This has been driven by a number of things, including the adoption of cloud-native applications, a shift from a move to analytics workload to public cloud environments, but above all, driven by a need for speed within the IT organizations and to meet the demands of the business. What's more, technical debt accrued during the pandemic has put a lot of pressure on many CIOs. We have seen this result in rushed migrations to the cloud, and this is largely driven by risk, as increases in technical debt can result in major vulnerabilities in organizations' IT estates. We are also seeing a significant repatriation happening right now in the current environment. Organizations, if you look at the conversation that is happening about cloud, it used to be a location conversation. When organizations first began moving to the cloud, typically making a move for, number one, scale on demand offered by the public cloud, the ability to align financials with other elements of the business, limit upfront costs, and the ability to only pay for what you use. But most of these organizations quickly realize that public cloud have their own limitations, including reduced control, compliance concerns, and in some cases, very unpredictable costs. What's more, deploying workloads across multiple clouds lead to siloed management and operations. The private cloud, on the other hand, have their own benefits and challenges. They offer more control, helping organizations address concern about compliance, but they lack financial flexibility, agility, and the scalability of the public cloud. Now, the organizations are largely being forced to embrace some combination of the public and private cloud in their environments, recognizing that the mix of private and public is essential to meet the needs of their business. But when this is done in an ad hoc manner, organizations face major challenges, particularly when pairing with sprawling public cloud environments. The cloud conversation, has evolved substantially. It should be no surprise to anyone that we live in a hybrid multi-cloud world. Our customers that we talk to every day have workloads in multiple public clouds, have on-prem and on more and more devices at the edge. Cloud is no longer what we call a destination. It is an operating model. But what exactly, what I mean by saying an operating model? It is basically a set of behaviors that our customers like about the cloud experience. Things like simplification of IT, the access to instant capacity, a modern commerce experience, and easy to use development tools. However, as our customers have embraced multiple clouds for their workloads, their expectations have also shifted. They are now looking and expecting a cloudy experience everywhere, not just in the public cloud. Additionally, as the world becomes increasingly multi-cloud, they want these different clouds to work together better than they do today. Furthermore, they're also looking for simplified operations everywhere so they can operate these workloads, including their own data center and edge locations. These evolved expectations can help explain many of the competitive moves that we are seeing in the market over the last 18 months. You've seen AWS Outposts, Azure Stack, Google Anthos, an attempt to extend the cloudy experience to the data center. The debate is over, right? The future is not about public or private. It is actually both. It is important to note that there are three physical laws that will impact this digital multi-cloud world: the law of physics, the law of economics, and of the land. Right? With the law of physics, we have an idea of data gravity. The distance between places cannot be easily overcome. Hence, the compute power to gravitate towards the source of data, latency, is still a major issue in a lot of customers. The next is the law of economics, consumption economics versus capital-heavy investment. Right? The last is the laws of the land, compliance and data sovereignty. Right? 92% respondents on an ESG research on hybrid cloud indicate that the cloud strategies were inclusive of having on-prem and data centers. 92%, significant amount. Furthermore, they found that 77% of the respondents have pulled some of the workloads back on-prem. Now, this isn't to say that public cloud isn't working, but rather organizations are realizing that a certain business and application requirement can create a dynamic where the workload is best suited to be on-prem. The questions of public and private is no more there, it's actually both. This is an extract, right, that I've taken from AWS describing the use case for AWS Outposts. As you can see here, right, you can use Outposts to support your applications that have low latency or low local data processing requirements. You can use Outposts to securely store and process customer data that needs to remain on-prem. You can run data-intensive workloads on Outposts, right, and process data when transmitting data to the cloud is expensive and wasteful. So this is something coming from AWS itself, right? So I think everybody is realizing that it's a mixture of both hybrid and public cloud world. Private and public cloud world. Their expectations, a hybrid cloud was going to be a simple, right? You can have a private cloud and then a public cloud and they work together, right? But in reality, facing many organizations today is more complicated. We have talked to many organizations who have multiple clouds, but few with a unified IT-driven strategy for multi-cloud. Typically, the needs for speed and agility within the business have driven this. As IT struggles to meet the quick turnaround demanded by LOB owners, the line of business spins up their own cloud deployments and purchases their own cloud-native solutions and contribute to the sprawling cloud environments. They need to address regulatory compliance concern is also a major driver. They may have also invested in unique capabilities offered by a particular vendor, right? And they have inherited the cloud environments by mergers and acquisitions. Or it may be a calculated move to mitigate the risks by eliminating reliance on a single vendor. The operating in many clouds creates a lot of complexity. Very quickly, these organizations face a proliferation of management consoles and siloed cloud assets. You end up with an operational island with multiple clouds operated differently and by different teams with limited visibility across environments, rather than a true multi-cloud strategy. This creates challenges in managing risk, skilling resources, and the uncertainty around security. It also contributes to costly scenarios where applications need to be reworked and to migrate from one environment to the other, rather than simply written once and run anywhere. For analytics workload, data represents a major concern as costs can quickly grow out of control when organizations move their data to public clouds. In summary, the challenges include management and operational costs, new skills and processes, uncertain security posture, and application rework and re-platform costs. Multi-cloud or hybrid cloud environment is essential in running the business. Organizations can adopt a proactive IT-driven approach that helps optimize for control, speed, security, scalability, and costs, while avoiding the pitfalls, allowing for a true multi-cloud strategy. This means that a cloud environment that affords the IT the agility to deliver at pace of the business demands, but at the same time delivering superior SLAs for business critical applications and keeping them in a private data center environment. Thankfully, right, Dell Technologies is in a position to help. Dell infrastructure with VMware Tanzu gives you the ability to write applications once and run them everywhere, saving you time and resources while simplifying your operations. Dell Technologies offer applications portability and a single management plane for your cloud native and monolithic applications. This enables you to simply run and manage virtualized and containerized workloads side by side, and drastically reducing the complexity that blend cloud native services with monolithic apps and processes. We will also allow you to run analytics across your data wherever it lives, preventing costly scenarios requiring you to move your data to the cloud to take advantage of cloud analytics. All in all, we know that cloud is hard. This is a future for business. We want to ensure that your organization stays ahead of the curve. We help by providing you all the technology you will need to build a consistent and secure cloud architecture, alongside an operating model that ensures compatibility. Once these tenets are in place, you will have the freedom to dictate where your workload and data reside, solely based on what aligns you to your business model. You will have the control over all of the environments and will manage them in the same way with the same set of tools. You will definitely have the flexibility to move workloads, apps, and data between environments without investing too many resources. We at Dell have a point of view on how you can be successful in achieving the vision of a consistent hybrid or multi-cloud environment within your organization. One where workloads and applications are aligned to the right cloud base solely on the needs of the business. Number one, drive a unified strategy. Once the decision-making process is decluttered, the process of deciding what to do with the workload and where it should reside becomes simple and more efficient. Bring the LOB and the IT together, the line of business and IT together. By controlling this process more closely, we can push your organization in the right direction, cut down the shadow IT stemming from your lines of business, align the cost models with the business. You need to consider the cost of migrating workloads and data to cloud environments and operating in such an environment. Organizations can struggle with unexpected costs, which can undermine their entire cloud strategy. Failing to consider cost models can lead to vendor lock-in as well. Achieve speed and consistency across environments. It's not enough to get your stuff in the right place. You need to make sure that everything runs together with the agility to meet the demands of the business. Lastly, reduce risk by gaining intrinsic security. With multi-cloud being a reality for your organization, you may be more at risk of security threats than ever before. Strive for an intrinsic security by securing the entirety of your architecture. There are a number of things to consider while you continue your cloud adoption. First, need to ensure that developers are armed with the latest services and tools. Your DevOps team need to be as flexible and agile as possible. Leverage the benefits of the cloud to allow your DevOps team to keep innovating for the business and spend less time and money and effort in managing development requirements. Then you need to consider how to best move applications onto your cloud environment. Consider which actions your organization need to take on your applications. I think this is referred to as 6 R's: repurchase, rewrite, replatform, rehost, retain, or retire the apps. You need to consider the optimal environment for your data to reside. This service will need to be located somewhere in your cloud ecosystem, either on a public cloud or on a private cloud, either on-prem or off-prem, right? Allowing these application needs and business requirement to guide this decision. So why is Dell the right partner to help you accomplish your cloud goals? We have experienced support teams that are dedicated to helping customers implement, support, and scale cloud, from a dedicated deployment to professional consultants who have the know-how in order to augment your team with the right tools and services. We have the world's broadest partnership ecosystem, including AWS, GCP, Azure, and about 4,200 other cloud partners across 120 odd countries to provide a frictionless hybrid multi-cloud experience. We prioritize sustainability, right? Particularly with our Apex Cloud Service offering. We will recycle or reuse 95% of the infrastructure, sanitizing and remarketing technology that cannot be recovered and recycled. Finally, we help you to build your cloud future in our cloud supply chain, as we take a holistic approach to protecting our supply chain and delivering solutions that customers can trust, with multiple layers of control to mitigate threats. It could be introduced in a supply chain at every stage. Trust our experience, trust our proven technology, trust our experienced teams. This brings me to the end of my session. Once again, I thank you for attending the session, and I applaud VST ECS for organizing the amazing CXO Summit. Happy holidays, stay safe.